let's shift into talking about Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Obviously, it's a big freaking deal. Hey, by the way, are you excited about Thunderbolts? Smash a like on the video. Are you excited for Avengers Doomsday? Smash the like on the video. Do you think that the MCU is dead and it'll never recover and there's nothing they can do? Smash a goddamn like on the video. I don't care what you're thinking, feeling. You watch this goddamn, just smash a like. So, Avengers Doomsday, Avengers Secret Wars. These are big deals. These are big movies. Massive for Marvel, the future. It's all on the line, baby. And lately, we've been really curious and wondering who's going to be in these movies, dude. They're about to film. They're building the sets right now. Every day I go to Twitter and hope that there's a Doctor Doom set leak or some leak of his armor or this, that, second, and the third. Very interested in how all of that's going to go down. But another thing that we're interested in is like who's going to be in this goddamn movie. And a lot of people keep being asked about it. We're about to watch a thing here with Chris Pratt. He was out there promoting the new movie that he's actually doing with the Russo brothers. I think it's called Electric Dream State or like Electric Millie Bobby Brown or something like that. And so he was asked on the red carpet premiere about being in Doomsday, and he kind of had his publicist come in and be like, nope, we're not answering that shit. Well, Mr. Jimmy Kimmel put him on the spot, I think just last night. Let's watch this exchange.
Will you be in the Avengers movie? I know you were across the street with the Russo brothers at their Hand and Footprints star ceremony.
Yeah, I was.
Is this something you can share with us? Will Star-Lord be a part of this?
At the end, for people who know the Marvel world, we did Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was the last time you saw Star-Lord, and there was a promise that Star-Lord would return.
The legendary Star-Lord
will return was the promise. And so all I can say is we will make good on that promise.
But maybe not in this movie?
I feel like there's a Marvel sniper somewhere.
Yeah, there is. There are. There always are.
There always no. I can't say. I will say no more.
All right. Do the Marvel people know you can rap? Because I feel like you could work that in too. I mean,
you think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if Will is into rap music.
True.
Maybe now they'll watch this. So maybe they'll find out.
Well, it's great to.
Interesting. So basically a non-comment, right? Where he's like, look, and by the way, they probably had a conversation about this. I really like Chris Pratt, but I assume on the red carpet, you know, just based off of that answer, if you look at what he said on the red carpet, he kind of like looks over to his manager, and his manager just kind of comes in to protect him. And then they must have talked, man. He must have been coached on how to give a better answer, because this is a much better answer. I think he's in the movie, okay? I think he's in the movie, and I think he kind of almost has to be in the movie for a couple of reasons here. Number one, the story and the story of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 did put Peter Quill back on Earth. And I think that's probably a Marvel thing, although I've never heard this completely confirmed. But it just seemed like, of course, it's a resolution to a lot of like Peter's arc, because he finally like goes back home and he's back on Earth with his grandpa and all that, right? So that's cool. But this also is where Doctor Doom's going to assault, where the Avengers are going to meet either Doctor Doom or Doctor Doom's henchmen and have a big fight. And so I think from a story perspective, if you're just like looking at what happened in Guardians and potentially what's going to happen in Doomsday, I think that Chris Pratt will definitely be a part of it. Here's the other thing, though. Chris Pratt is like a massive fucking star. It's actually wild how big of a star he has become. Various roles that he's played, a lot of big movies. He's probably a bigger star than ever, which is so wild. Like it's very wild to me that he is that big of a star, but he obviously is. And I think, you know, having this relationship with the Russos, making this movie, I think they definitely understand the value of having an actor like him and a star like him in a big old movie like that. Because, dude, here's another thing that's kind of interesting about Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. The Russo brothers have built-in incentives this time that if the movies make over $1 billion, they get like massive pay upgrades. They might have one that kicks in at $2 billion as well, but I know for sure they have bonus kick-ins at $1 billion, which is great. Like, that's great. I mean, come on. We want these movies to be as big as possible, and we want the incentive to be there for the directors. But I think if you're just thinking in terms of like, hey, man, let's get that $1 billion, Chris Pratt, super important to that. And I wonder what you think of that, you know? Because he'll probably just be chilling with his grandpa, and then some wild shit happens on Earth, and then he probably just shows up in New York to try to help. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I assume is going to happen. I assume he's just going to show up in New York, and there will be, you know, stuff going down. Reed Richards will probably be there trying to warn everybody about Doctor Doom. You'll have Sam Wilson. You'll have Bucky Barnes. You'll have, like, both those teams of Avengers. I think, obviously, Star-Lord has had experience with both of those guys, I believe. Pretty sure, maybe not. Yeah, Star-Lord comes back at the end for the fight in Endgame, so like somewhat had a relationship with all of those guys. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see Chris Pratt in the mix with all of those other characters as shit gets really wild and as shit hits the fan. Here's another actor that has recently been asked about this, and that would be Tom Hiddleston. Tom Hiddleston recently out there doing some press, and people have been asking him about whether or not he's going to be in Doomsday or Secret Wars with Loki, and he's kind of just doing the same thing that Chris is doing. But let's watch this here, okay? Let's see what the man says.
Thank you. Thank you. Are you going to be in Doomsday or
I mean, just
Secret
pushed in
Wars?
the queue, shouldn't be there.
What's that? Are you going to be in Doomsday or Secret Wars?
I don't know.
You don't know? Oh.
I don't know.
There you go, the exclusive.
What
Thank you.
a good actor.
Thank you. Are you going to be in Doomsday or
I mean, just
Secret
pushed in
Wars?
the queue, shouldn't be there.
What's that?
Are you going to be in Doomsday or Secret Wars?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. It's about to film in a month, man. I think you probably know. Now, let's talk about Loki. Let's talk about Loki for a second. Do we think Loki is going to be in Doomsday? I think yes, especially because we're about to talk about Scarlet Witch and that comic book and the TVA connection and everything like that. And I think Loki actually is sort of a missing piece in that puzzle that can help explain all of that. But do you guys think Tom Hiddleston's going to be in it? I feel like he has to be. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. For me, just the way I see all this going down, and obviously what they did in Loki Season 1 and Loki Season 2, but also if you look at Deadpool and Wolverine and that comic book, it just really feels that the TVA in some way is going to play a role here, potentially setting up multiversal Avengers. And I know for sure that Marvel has a plan to have a reunion between Loki and Thor, which will be really cool. Like, dude, Loki has been through so much since he last saw Thor. Thor has been through a lot too, but only because he had to go through, like, Taika Waititi having a breakdown and doing a terrible-ass follow-up to Ragnarok. So, like, Thor's been going through it too, but, like, in a different way. Loki has seen some goddamn shit, and Loki wants to just see his brother again. I cannot wait for the catharsis that will be created when Loki has an interaction with his brother. And by the way, these character moments, I keep trying to bring these up because, you know, frankly, I think a lot of the conversation or the way people are seeing Doomsday and Secret Wars is like, it's going to be slop and it's going to be like bereft of meaning and character moments. And I'm just telling you, I promise you, there's a whiteboard at Marvel Studios that has many very impactful character moments that they want to have happen, and a big one is Loki and Thor. So there's going to be some moments in these movies that fucking hit, bro, and they hit the way that Infinity War and Endgame used to hit. So I definitely think he's going to beat it. The question is, will Loki be in Doomsday and Secret Wars, or is he more of a Secret Wars character? Because if he's creating multiversal Avengers, or if he's holding the entire multiverse together, perhaps it won't be until Doctor Doom accomplishes his goal that then we would see Loki finally able to let all of that go and then maybe collect up heroes as all of the universes are being destroyed or something. I'm not entirely sure, but it seems like that is probably something that's going to happen. As far as the multiverse Avengers go, I get the sense that this will be similar to the time heist, except instead of the time heist happening, throughout the MCU catalog, we will instead have a time heist where we go to all of the old Fox movies and we grab characters up out of those movies. Kind of like how they grabbed up Deadpool, or rather Wolverine in Deadpool and Wolverine, right? TVA just shows up at an important moment, like Logan. Now, he was already dead and whatever, but that's my point is, I think that if you want to replicate some of the juice from Endgame and Infinity War, it's wise to look at what worked and how you could tweak that formula in the multiverse to make it even better. So, I think Loki's the way you get there. Essentially, Loki could probably let go of all of the time, like the timelines of the multiverse, but then before they all completely disappear forever, he goes in there himself and grabs them up, bringing them to the TVA. Kind of seems like he might have done that with Wanda too, which we'll get to in a second. But I think Loki and Tom Hiddleston is going to be a massive part of bringing this whole thing together. And it gets kind of interesting and exciting. You're talking about actors like Chris Pratt. You're talking about actors like Loki, Chris Hemsworth, Robert Downey Jr., Benedict Cumberbatch. Bro, this shit is stacked. Elizabeth Olsen as well. I know not all of us love, Sam as Cap. Not all of us love, some of the new characters that they've created. And some of there's a lack of connection to some of these characters and some of the actors. But, brother, they've got gas. These actors and actresses are absolutely incredible. And Elizabeth Olsen is the next one. I mean, she keeps getting asked about it as well. She's currently in London right now. And she's technically not in London right now for a Marvel Cinematic Universe thing, but probably just like Tom Holland is scheduling some London shooting around his shooting for Doomsday, Elizabeth Olsen is probably doing the same thing. That's probably why Chris Hemsworth is in London as well, right? So from what we currently know right now, most of the actors that will be showing up for Doomsday will film for 1 month's time, 4 to 5 weeks of shooting, okay? And it's going to be crazy. They're going to be very stretched. They're going to be working really hard because, not to get in the weeds with all of this, but you have what's known as like a shooting schedule, and you basically don't shoot a movie in order. You shoot a movie in the smartest way that you can to save the most amount of time. And that's what's going to happen here. And by the way, the Russos are like the only people that could actually handle this at the scale that Marvel needs, right? This is fascinating. Like, this whole thing is so interesting to me. But you'll essentially have a lot of these actors go there and film for about a month. Robert Downey Jr. is going to be filming for 3 months. And my God, I mean, I know he's getting like $100 million or whatever it is to do these two movies. I know it's insane. Like, it could be, I think the trade said it was at least $125 million for Downey. So, like, don't get me wrong. I know he's getting paid like the most amount of fucking money, but he's about to have 3 of the most insane months of his life. He's probably prepping for it right now. Getting ready right now. Getting into the character of Doom right now for 3 months of scenes where he will be interacting with all of these various actors that I'm talking about. Maybe not all of them. Maybe some of them will have kind of offshoot scenes. They just deal with the Dark Avenger or whatever. Doom's in the background and whatnot. But a lot of these characters, he's going to have big scenes with. I assume there's a really big scene with Loki. I assume. I don't know exactly how or why, but I assume he's going to have a really big scene with Loki. We've heard that he's going to have an incredible scene with Benedict Cumberbatch. Some of the most important scenes in the multiverse saga, as it has been described. Amazing. We know he's going to have epic and really important scenes with Tom Holland, Spider-Man. Epic. I don't know if he's going to have a scene with Chris Pratt. That would be amazing. He's probably going to have scenes with Anthony Mackie and those Avengers, right? I mean, this dude is going to be turning in performance after performance. And you know what else? This isn't even in my script, but I just wanted to talk about this. Have any of you guys ever watched any of the behind the scenes stuff with how RDJ shoots his Iron Man stuff when he was in his prime? Have any of you guys watched a lot of the behind the scenes stuff there? The point I'm making is Robert Downey Jr., he's a fascinating actor, and he goes off the script a lot. And part of the reason he goes off script is because he feels like he has to keep it organic. This was in a big Esquire report that came out last year where they sort of talked about him returning to Doom. We talked about it on a stream. Maybe you were here for that. Essentially, Downey, he'll have a scene, he'll have a script. Sometimes he just has to completely change it up, tear it up, give a completely new thing, and go in a different direction. He has this ability to like keep the scene alive and make the actors that are playing across from him just really need to bring their best and like play off of each other. And it's a beautiful thing. He's a really, really talented guy. And so what I'm saying is like, you're going to have these scenes and these scripted scenes that McFeely's writing, and they matter for sure a lot. But some of the juice in this movie is going to come from some really talented actors that have been doing this for a long time, and they're going to bring this crazy off-the-page energy. Downey's going to say some shit that wasn't in the script, or he's going to get into a vibe that wasn't in the script, and the other people are going to play off of it. It's just fascinating. I'm so interested to see how all of that's going to work. And the main point that I'm bringing up here is, like, it's starting to be that time where we're really asking ourselves, who are the different actors that are going to show up in this thing? And so I wanted to go over a couple of them that I think will be, some of the comments they are currently making, why I think they're going to be in the movie, how they're going to show up in the movie, and why I'm so excited. Like, this is... They're cooking. Thanks for watching. And if you like this clip, smash a like on the actual video and subscribe to this channel. That way more of these clips get into your feed. I've also linked the full episode below if you want to check out the entire thing, including the Q&A we do with fans. You can also watch this show live. We do it live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And you can also find all of my content, including the videos I put on my main YouTube channel, on the podcast feed.